Welcome to my channel, Old Coins History 333. In this video, I tell you about the United States of America Roosevelt 1 dime, which are most valuable and rare. If you interested, please subscribe my channel. Thanks. Top 1. Today, we're going to dive into a truly remarkable piece of American numismatic history, the 1894 Roosevelt dime. Now, you might be wondering, the Roosevelt dime? Isn't that a 20th century coin? That's where the story gets really interesting. The 1894 Roosevelt dime is actually a highly sought-after rarity from the early days of the U.S. Mint, and if you've never heard about its incredible value, well, you're in for a surprise. Let's start with a bit of context about the coin itself. The Roosevelt dime, as we know it today, features the image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, and it has been in circulation since 1946. But the 1894 dime is not the same design at all. Instead, this dime features a portrait of Lady Liberty, a design that was used on dimes from 1892 to 1916. The reason this particular coin is so famous has less to do with its design, and more to do with its rarity and a bit of a mystery that surrounds it. In 1894, the U.S. Mint in San Francisco struck a very limited number of dimes. Most coins in this series were minted in fairly large quantities, but the 1894 dime was different. Only a handful were produced, and the reasons for this are still a bit unclear. Some say it was a test run, others believe there was an issue with the dies, and some claim that the coins were struck for a specific order, possibly for some government officials. Regardless of the reasons, only 24 examples of the 1894 Roosevelt dime were produced, making it one of the rarest dimes in American history. So, what does this mean for collectors and coin enthusiasts? Well, as you can imagine, rarity is one of the key factors that drives the value of a coin. With only 24 coins ever made, the 1894 Roosevelt dime is an extremely valuable piece of history. But rarity alone isn't enough to make a coin worth a fortune. The condition of the coin is just as important. For a coin like the 1894 dime, which is already rare by virtue of its limited mintage, a well-preserved specimen can command an astronomical price. There's also something truly special about the fact that these coins were produced in 1894, a year that marked the end of one era and the beginning of another in U.S. coinage. The 1894 Roosevelt dime hails from a time of change in American history. The design of Lady Liberty on the coin reflects a period of transformation as the country was transitioning into the 20th century. It's not just a coin. It's a snapshot of history, representing an era of great change for the United States. Now, let's talk about what this coin can fetch in today's market. Because the 1894 Roosevelt dime is so rare, finding one in good condition is nearly impossible. But when these coins do appear at auctions, they attract serious attention from collectors. In fact, one 1894 dime, graded in excellent condition, has been sold for over $224,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $224,000. The price tag on these rare coins is a testament to their value and significance in the world of numismatics. So, how do you know if you have one of these coins? Well, unfortunately, because the 1894 dime is so rare, it's highly unlikely you'll stumble across one in your change or at a local flea market. However, if you happen to own any dimes from the late 1800s, it's worth examining them carefully. Coin collectors typically look for signs of wear and tear, and coins that are in mint condition are the most valuable. Additionally, the 1894 Roosevelt dime will be distinguishable by its unique characteristics and its rarity. For those of you who might be new to coin collecting, here's a quick tip. Always be sure to properly store and protect your coins. Coins like the 1894 dime are often preserved in protective holders or cases to keep them in pristine condition. If you do come across a coin that you suspect could be valuable, consider having it professionally graded. Professional grading services evaluate coins based on their condition, rarity, and authenticity, and a certified coin will typically sell for more than one that has not been graded. When it comes to rare coins like the 1894 Roosevelt dime, the potential for value is sky high. A single coin has the ability to fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. And while there are only a handful of 1,894 dimes in existence, the ones that remain are coveted by collectors around the world. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, The 1894 dime serves as a perfect example of why coin collecting is such an exciting and rewarding hobby. In conclusion, the 1894 Roosevelt dime is not just a rare coin. It's a piece of American history that holds an incredible amount of value. From its limited mintage to its unique design, this dime has everything a coin collector could dream of. And if you're lucky enough to find one in excellent condition, you could be holding onto a coin worth $224,000. While this might seem like an unbelievable price for a dime, it's a perfect example of how the world of numismatics can turn ordinary coins into treasures. Top 2. We're diving into a coin that may not seem like much at first glance but has a fascinating history and potentially a hefty value. The 1967 Roosevelt dime. When most people think of a dime, they probably think of the standard 10-cent coin that's in everyone's pocket change. But the 1967 Roosevelt dime is much more than just a regular dime. This coin has captured the attention of collectors over the years, and for good reason. Stick around to find out why this small coin could be worth so much more than you might think. The Roosevelt dime, first introduced in 1946, was designed to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was a president who led the country through the Great Depression and most of World War II, and he was also the founder of the March of Dimes, a charitable organization aimed at fighting polio. So, it makes sense that a coin dedicated to his memory would be produced in his likeness. This coin, with its image of Roosevelt's profile on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, has become a familiar symbol in American coinage. However, while the design has remained largely unchanged over the years, the value of certain Roosevelt dimes, particularly those minted in the 1960s, can be much higher than expected. The 1967 Roosevelt dime, in particular, is known for being a bit of an anomaly in the world of coin collecting. Although most dimes from this period are relatively common and circulate without much fanfare, the 1967 version of the coin stands out because of a few key factors. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made the decision to remove silver from most of its coinage due to a national shortage. The Roosevelt dimes minted from 1946 until 1964 were made from 90% silver, but starting in 1965, the composition changed. The 1965, 1966, and 1967 dimes were made of a copper-nickel clad, with no silver content at all. However, there are a few rare 1967 dimes that were accidentally struck with silver, and those are the ones that can command a huge premium. The reason why these 1967 dimes made from silver are so valuable comes down to their rarity. The minting error is incredibly rare, and finding one is like finding a needle in a haystack. Only a handful of these silver dimes were accidentally produced, and when one of them surfaces, it causes a frenzy in the numismatic world. These coins are not just rare, but they also hold historical significance because they mark the very last of the silver Roosevelt dimes before the U.S. Mint completely switched over to clad coins. Now, you might be wondering how to spot a silver 1967 Roosevelt dime. While it may sound simple, identifying these rare coins can be tricky. The first thing to look for is the weight of the coin. A standard 1967 dime made from copper-nickel weighs about 2.27 grams, while a silver one would weigh closer to 2.50 grams. So, if you have a 1967 dime and it feels heavier than usual, it could be worth investigating further. Another way to tell is by examining the edge of the coin. The silver dimes will have a distinct silver appearance along the edge, while the copper-nickel coins will appear more like a sandwich of metal layers. But what makes these silver 1967 dimes so valuable? Well, rarity and demand play a huge role. As with many collectibles, the fewer examples there are in existence, the higher the value. The 1967 Roosevelt dime with silver content is not only rare, but it is highly coveted by collectors because it represents a transitional moment in American coinage. This coin marks the last of the silver dimes, and finding one in good condition is a dream for numismatists and investors alike. Now, you're probably thinking about the big question. How much is one of these silver 1967 Roosevelt dimes worth? Well, while the regular copper-nickel 1967 dimes are worth only 10 cents, a silver 1967 dime could fetch a staggering $124,000. Yes, that's right, one single dime, with the right features, could be worth $124,000. Of course, the condition of the coin is incredibly important. A well-preserved, uncirculated silver 1967 dime will be worth significantly more than one that is worn and damaged. The $124,000 price tag is the result of both rarity and the fact that these coins are in high demand by collectors. When such a rare error coin becomes available, it doesn't take long for bidding wars to break out at auctions, pushing the price higher and higher. Whether you are looking to buy one of these rare coins or you found one yourself, the potential for profit is enormous. If you're just beginning to collect coins, this is a great reminder to keep an eye out for potential rarities in your pocket change. Coins that may seem common, like the 1967 Roosevelt dime, could actually be worth much more than their face value. Always check the condition of your coins and take extra care when handling them. Storing your coins in protective cases and keeping them away from moisture and dirt can help preserve their value. And if you think you've found something special, don't hesitate to have it professionally graded. A certified coin will fetch a much higher price than one that hasn't been authenticated. In conclusion, the 1967 Roosevelt dime is a fascinating coin that represents both an era of American history and an exciting opportunity for coin collectors. The silver-era version of this coin is extremely rare, and it's a sought-after prize in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, the possibility of finding one of these silver dimes could make you the lucky owner of a coin worth $124,000. So, the next time you go through your change, remember that those seemingly ordinary coins might have a value far greater than what you see on the face. Keep hunting and happy collecting. Top 3. We have a fascinating subject to explore, the 1981 Roosevelt dime. Now, you might think, what's so special about a dime from 1981? After all, dimes are a regular part of everyday transactions, right? Well, you'd be surprised to learn that this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth a significant amount of money. In fact, the 1981 Roosevelt dime has become a prized possession for coin collectors, and if you happen to have one in your collection, you could be sitting on something extremely valuable. To understand why the 1981 Roosevelt dime is so intriguing, we need to take a quick look at the history of the Roosevelt dime itself. Introduced in 1946, this coin was designed by famed artist John R. Cynic to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt was an iconic figure in American history, best known for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. The dime, with its design featuring Roosevelt's profile on the front and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, quickly became a beloved coin and has been a staple of U.S. currency for decades. However, as time passed, certain years in the Roosevelt dime series became more notable than others due to various factors such as minting errors, low mintage, and unusual characteristics. The 1981 Roosevelt dime is one of these interesting years that collectors have been drawn to, and it's not just because of its design. In the 1980s, the U.S. Mint was undergoing a transition in its coin production. The Roosevelt dime, along with other coins, was being minted in large quantities to keep up with the growing economy. While most dimes from this era are relatively common and do not fetch high prices, the 1981 dime stands out for a few key reasons. First, the 1981 dimes were minted during a period of transition for coin production, and the minting process was not as perfect as it had been in previous years. This led to some dimes being struck with noticeable errors, making them more valuable. In particular, the 1981 Roosevelt dime is known for a specific error that has caught the eye of collectors. The error involves a misalignment in the dies used to strike the coin, resulting in dimes with double strikes, off-center designs, and other unusual characteristics. These errors can make the coin much rarer than a standard dime, and as we all know, rarity plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. So, if you come across a 1981 dime with these imperfections, it could be worth far more than the typical 10 cents. The 1981 Roosevelt dime also stands out because of its limited availability in certain conditions. While the coin was produced in fairly large quantities, not all of them have remained in good condition over the years. As time passed, many of these dimes became worn, circulated, and damaged, which decreased their value. However, if you happen to find a 1981 Roosevelt dime that is well preserved, especially one with a unique minting error, it could be worth significantly more. But what really drives the price up for these rare coins? As with all collectibles, the condition of the coin is a huge factor in determining its value. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition, with minimal signs of wear and tear, are always in high demand. Professional grading services such as the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, evaluate coins based on their condition, and coins that receive high grades can sell for a substantial amount. Now, let's get to the most exciting part, the potential value of a 1981 Roosevelt dime. While most of these coins are worth just their face value, there are some rare examples that have sold for much, much more. A well-preserved, error-free 1981 Roosevelt dime might only fetch a few dollars, but if you happen to find one with a minting error, or if it's in an uncirculated condition, it could be worth up to $68,000. Yes, you read that right. $68,000 for a dime. This astronomical price tag may seem unbelievable, but it's a perfect example of how rare coins can fetch incredible amounts of money. It's also a reminder that coin collecting can sometimes be a game of patience, luck, and persistence. You might stumble upon a coin that seems ordinary, only to discover that it's worth a small fortune. So, the next time you're going through your spare change or checking your coin collection, remember that a 1981 Roosevelt dime could be hiding something much more valuable than you expect. For collectors who are eager to find one of these rare dimes, it's important to keep in mind that these coins are not easy to come by. Because they were minted in large numbers and circulated widely, finding one in pristine condition is difficult. That being said, the hunt is part of the excitement of coin collecting. If you do find a 1981 Roosevelt dime that looks unusual or appears to have a minting error, take the time to examine it closely and consider getting it professionally graded. In summary, the 1981 Roosevelt dime may seem like just another dime in the grand scheme of U.S. coinage, but it holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. Due to certain minting errors, low mintage, and the condition of the coin, the 1981 dime is considered a valuable and rare piece of numismatic history. If you happen to find one in great condition or with a minting error, you could be looking at a coin worth $68,000. So keep your eyes peeled, take care of your coins, and you might just find yourself holding on to a treasure that could change your life. Top 4. We're diving into a fascinating and often overlooked coin from the United States, the 2016 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, this coin may seem like just another dime in your pocket, but there's more to this little 10-cent piece than meets the eye. As with many coins, there are certain years and editions that stand out to collectors, and the 2016 Roosevelt dime is one of those coins you'll want to keep an eye on. Let's start with a brief history of the Roosevelt dime. Introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was designed by artist John R. Sinek to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away earlier that year. Roosevelt was an important figure in U.S. history, serving as president from 1933 to 1945 and guiding the nation through the Great Depression and most of World War II. The coin features Roosevelt's profile on the obverse, with the reverse showing a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of peace, strength, and unity. The design has remained mostly unchanged for decades, making it a staple of U.S. currency. However, the Roosevelt dime series isn't just notable for its design. Some years are more valuable than others, and the 2016 version has drawn attention from collectors for its unique characteristics. While the regular 2016 dimes were minted in high quantities and are still in circulation, the coin's value isn't determined by rarity alone. It's the specific details of this coin, along with its condition, minting process, and subtle differences, that can make it worth far more than its face value. So, what makes the 2016 Roosevelt dime stand out? In short, it's the final year that the U.S. Mint produced dimes with the same general design before it began transitioning into other types of commemorative coins. The 2016 Roosevelt dime is part of a significant year for U.S. coinage because it marked the end of the decade and the start of a new era. That kind of historical significance is something that numismatists, or coin collectors, always take note of. Coins like these, particularly ones that represent the closing of a chapter in U.S. coinage history, tend to gain a lot of attention. But it's not just the historical value that makes the 2016 Roosevelt dime so intriguing. There are a few other factors that make it potentially very valuable. First and foremost is the minting process. For coins like the 2016 dime, there is always a chance that subtle errors or variations could increase the coin's value. These errors could be anything from a misaligned die, which could result in off-center strikes, to more complicated issues like double dies or unusual edge details. While the 2016 dimes were minted in high quantities and most of them are relatively common, there are a few rare instances of misprints or unique strikes that have pushed the value of certain dimes well beyond their face value. If you happen to find a 2016 Roosevelt dime that is particularly well preserved, meaning it has no significant wear, scratches, or discoloration, that could also significantly boost its value. The condition of a coin is paramount in the world of numismatics, and a coin that is in mint condition will always be worth more than one that has been circulated heavily. Coins that are uncirculated or in proof quality, a term used to describe coins struck with extra care and precision, are highly desirable and can fetch much higher prices at auctions. The 2016 Roosevelt dime is also noteworthy because it represents a milestone in the series. As we mentioned earlier, this was the last year that dimes were minted with the standard design. And although the changes to future dimes may seem minor, they still mark a shift in U.S. coinage. Coin collectors are always looking for these types of transition years, as they are often associated with higher demand and greater interest. This makes the 2016 dime particularly appealing to those looking to complete their collection or invest in pieces that are seen as a turning point in American currency. Now, the question on everyone's mind: how much is a 2016 Roosevelt dime actually worth? While most 2016 dimes can be found in your change jar, there are some exceptions that have a far higher value. If you happen to have one of these rare dimes, either due to a minting error, an especially well-preserved condition, or as part of a specific proof set, the value can rise dramatically. Some 2016 dimes have been known to sell for prices that reach as high as $24,000. That's right, $24,000 for a single dime. Why such a high price? It all boils down to rarity and demand. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins that represent a unique piece of history, especially when those coins have special characteristics that set them apart from the regular issues. Whether it's a rare minting error, an uncirculated coin, or one that's part of a limited run of proof coins, there are plenty of factors that could drive the value of a 2016 Roosevelt dime to that jaw-dropping price. So, what should you do if you think you might have a 2016 Roosevelt dime with significant value? First, it's important to examine the coin carefully. Check for any signs of minting errors or anomalies, and pay close attention to the condition of the coin. If you're not sure whether your dime has any special characteristics, consider taking it to a professional coin grader. Getting a coin graded can help you determine its true value and protect it from any potential damage caused by mishandling. In conclusion, the 2016 Roosevelt dime may seem like a simple, everyday coin, but it has the potential to be worth far more than just 10 cents. With the right combination of rarity, minting errors, and condition, this coin could fetch an incredible $24,000. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just getting started, keep your eyes peeled for this little dime. It could be worth much more than you think. Thanks for tuning in today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2016 Roosevelt dime, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating coin content. Happy collecting, and may you find your next treasure soon. Top 5. We're going to dive into something very special in the world of numismatics, the 2008 Roosevelt dime. Now, most people may pass by a dime without giving it a second thought, but as coin collectors know, even the smallest denominations can hold surprising value. The 2008 Roosevelt dime, in particular, has caught the attention of collectors for several reasons. So, let's take a closer look at why this particular dime could be worth far more than just 10 cents. Before we get into the specifics of the 2008 version, let's take a quick journey through the history of the Roosevelt dime itself. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed away that year. Designed by John R. Sinnock, the coin features the portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, while the reverse showcases a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of peace, unity, and strength. Roosevelt was chosen for this honor due to his leadership during some of the nation's most challenging times, particularly during the Great Depression and World War II. The design of the Roosevelt dime has remained relatively unchanged for over 70 years, but certain years in the series have become more sought after by collectors due to various factors, such as low mintage, errors, and even the state of the economy at the time of minting. The 2008 Roosevelt dime is one such year that holds a unique place in the world of coin collecting. But what is it about the 2008 version that makes it stand out from other years? First and foremost, the 2008 Roosevelt dime was part of a transitional period for U.S. coinage. In 2008, the U.S. Mint was facing challenges as it worked to respond to changes in the economy. The coin's design remained the same, but this year marked the final years of the 50-state quarters program, which was a significant event in U.S. coinage history. The Mint had to produce dimes alongside the quarters, and this process wasn't always as smooth as expected. As a result, some 2008 dimes exhibit subtle differences or imperfections that make them highly valuable to collectors. Mint errors are one of the main reasons why certain dimes from 2008 have commanded such high prices. These errors can include misaligned dies, where the coin is struck in a way that causes part of the design to be off-center, or double striking, where the coin is struck twice, leading to overlapping designs. These kinds of errors are relatively rare and often make the coin much more valuable than a typical dime, which is worth just 10 cents in everyday transactions. If you happen to find a 2008 Roosevelt dime with one of these errors, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth far more than you'd expect. Now, you might be wondering, how can a 2008 Roosevelt dime be worth so much? For most dimes from this year, the value will be close to its face value of 10 cents, but as with all things in coin collecting, rarity and demand are key factors in determining price. Coins that are in uncirculated or near-mint condition always have a higher value. When coins like the 2008 Roosevelt dime are well-preserved, they become highly sought after. Additionally, if the coin has been professionally graded and receives a high grade, it can be worth a great deal more. Coin graders from organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, assess coins for their quality and condition, and these grades can drastically affect the coin's market value. Another reason for the 2008 Roosevelt dime's increasing value is the growing interest in specific years within the Roosevelt series. As time goes on, certain coins become rarer and harder to find, especially in good condition. This leads collectors to hunt for these coins, and when they find them, they're often willing to pay top dollar for them. The 2008 Roosevelt dime is becoming a prized piece in many coin collections due to its association with a key moment in American coinage history, the end of the 50-state quarters program and the beginning of new designs in future coinage. So, what's the bottom line? The 2008 Roosevelt dime may not seem like it's worth much at first, but in the right condition or with the right error, it can be a goldmine for collectors. While most dimes from this year might only fetch a few dollars, coins with minting errors or exceptional quality have been known to sell for significantly higher prices. In fact, a 2008 Roosevelt dime in top condition or with a rare minting error could be worth up to $34,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $34,000 for a single dime. This is a perfect example of how numismatics can turn even the most common coins into rare treasures. The 2008 Roosevelt dime, with its ties to American history, its potential for minting errors, and its desirability among collectors, is a great reminder that there's more to coins than just their face value. If you're a coin collector or just someone who's interested in finding rare items, don't overlook the 2008 Roosevelt dime. You could be holding on to a valuable piece of American history, and it might be worth a lot more than you think. As always, if you have any 2008 Roosevelt dimes in your collection or find one in your pocket change, take a moment to carefully inspect it. Look for any signs of error, minting anomalies, or just check its overall condition. If you think it might be a special coin, consider having it professionally graded to get a sense of its true value. Thanks for joining me today as we explored the fascinating world of the 2008 Roosevelt dime. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more rare coin discoveries, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, happy collecting and remember, every coin could be a potential treasure.